It's Ask the Judge time once again, and today Judge Courtney Arkeene joins us for one of our most popular segments. Great to see you today.
Thank you for having me once again. I love doing this. It's very
fun.
And
we love having you. So let's jump right in.
Okay.
Here's a question from one of our viewers. I am 17 years old. I quit my job because my boss was awful. Now he's giving my checks to another employee and says he doesn't have to pay me. What can I do?
Well, Texas has a statute called the Texas Payday Law, where you have to be paid for the wages that you have earned. What I would suggest they do is make sure they have good records on the hours and the hourly wage that should have been paid, and then you can file a claim with the Texas Workforce Commission. Now, you have 180 days to file that claim from the date that the wages should have been paid.
So good record keeping is always
good record
in that
keeping,
case.
But you have to be paid for wages earned in Texas.
Absolutely. And here's our second question. I was in a same-sex common law marriage for 10 years. Last June, I was served a no trespassing affidavit and was put out of the house. The police told me, she told them I never stayed there, and if she doesn't want me there, I had to leave. Is this legal? If so, what can I do? I was left homeless because I'm not from Beaumont, and she relocated me here from Houston for this relationship.
Well, Erica, this question is very complex, but we can answer it.
All right.
Texas Supreme Court legalized same-sex marriage. That's the first issue. Then Texas also recognizes common law marriage. So the first thing you would need to do would be consult a divorce attorney, because if you are claiming you have a same-sex common law marriage, then you need a divorce. In that divorce, you could ask for temporary orders where you were allowed to stay in the home temporarily. And the next question then is going to be, is the home separate property, or who owns the home? Is it community property? Was it bought during the marriage? And so that could determine who gets to stay in the home in the end. But in the interim, you could ask for temporary orders to remain there.
So even if it's common law, you still would need a divorce.
You still need a divorce in Texas.
I learned something new about that.
Yeah.
Okay, the last question. My roommate refuses to pay rent and told me he won't leave. What can I do?
Well, in this one, it depends on if he is on the lease or not. If he's on the lease, then that's a little more difficult. But if they were not on the lease, you could go to small claims court, file an eviction or like a forcible detainer suit. They had also said that they had stolen some things from them or kicked the door in or that type of thing. So then you would file criminal charges on that person. But your remedy is typically going to be a no trespass type of thing in small claims court.
Well, I guess you really have to do your homework when you are looking for a roommate.
You should. Be very careful. It's a very intimate relationship, whether you want it to be or not.
Exactly. Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
And if you have any questions for our Ask the Judge segment, send them to 12 News at 12newsnow.com.